Is AI just a tool like ChatGPT that waits for a trigger? Or is it a teammate that can actually surprise you with a result you didn't see coming? Welcome to something special for this podcast. We have the live recording from the Vention Unplugged event in Berlin. We've got a heavy-hitting panel from founders building AI on legal logic to engineers orchestrating multi-agent systems, debating whether AI will ever read the room or if humans will always be the only ones capable of creativity, empathy, and complaining. And to keep things honest, we forced our experts into a game. A green microphone for pro arguments and a red one for contra. They have to switch side mid-debate to get past the "it depends" fluff and find the real tensions. It will be hard for you if you're just listening to the audio, but I'm pretty sure you will make it. Enjoy the discussion and find us on LinkedIn if you want an invite to the next one. We will start now with our panel discussion. We still follow, obviously, the topic AI as a teammate. And let me give you a very quick definition between teammate and a tool. Because from my perspective, a tool is actually what we are using every day already, right? It is ChatGPT, it reacts to the email, it gets a trigger, and then is doing something more or less intelligent. A teammate, from my perspective, would be something that is working next to us and is maybe surprising us with some new insights, with some new results. And I am very interested and happy to discuss this and other questions now with the panel. First, let me introduce Catalina Turlea. She's the founder and CTO of LoveLays. Please join me on the stage. You formerly founded and worked as a CTO for Nilo.health, so taking care about the mental health, and now you are taking care with LoveLays about our prompt health. Next on the stage, I'd like to introduce Dirk Woywod, CPTO at RuleMapping Group. Please join us. Yes, take the green one. The RuleMapping Group is building world's only AI built on legal logic. Super cool, definitely. Next on the stage, Florian Thiel, Director of Engineering at Upvest. Upvest is building Europe's leading API-first investment infrastructure. And it is actually the only page I checked today that is not writing AI in huge letters on the homepage. Nevertheless, Upvest soon it will come because Upvest just announced the Series D investment over $125 million. So congratulations on that one. Now we will also want to see AI on the homepage. And last but not least, please welcome with me on stage Promit Ray, Chief AI Officer and co-founder of Rayol AI. So you are building the multi-agent systems of the future. That is really crazy. So we have a lot of expert view here. And to start this meeting, like you should start every good meeting, I would like to begin with a check-in question. And the question is to complete the following sentence. What I love about my team is... Ray, would you start?
We cannot be programmed.
Nice.
Innovation.
Nice to be with.
Mm-hmm. Female-powered.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We have definitely one thing in common, and all our teams have, and that is that we can't predict the future, right? And if you sit with such bright minds on the stage, there's a very easy escape that starts with "it depends." And we want to avoid that escape for you in the following discussions. That's why you see the red and the green microphones. And we all have this pro and contra in us, right? On the one hand, we maybe think, oh, wow, we can do so much things with AI. On the other hand, we are thinking, oh, damn it, I hope we will have to do something in the future. And we want to prime your argumentation now with the green microphone on the pro AI side and the red microphone on the contra one. And I will start the discussion with some statements, and we are super curious to learn from your perspective. What do you think about? And the first one, a teammate has to be a human. Who wants to kick it off? Does your teammate have to be a human?
Of course, the teammate has to be a human, because to be a proper teammate, you have to care about what you're doing, what you're building. And as we heard from Eski, LLMs and AIs are not there yet.
Promit, give us the other side.
To be a proper teammate, you have to get things done. And if AI can get things done without the mood swings, without the unreliability, without the chaos, why not?
I would say there's a big difference between human level expertise and where LLMs are right now. You can see the biggest difference in sort of coding assistants and I would say the rest of AI. Because in the coding assistant space, the developer is also the expert. So these tools have actually developed with the feedback very close to how we as developers are actually working. That's why I believe they are so powerful. But in other domains like legal or health or finance, AI still defaults to engineering, and the domain experts are actually locked out. That's why in many cases this turns into average responses or mediocre results rather than really proficient, like the same insights that expert would give.
I agree that sort of the humans should sort of be accountable at all. So, but what is the definition of teammate? Teammate is have a certain role, have a certain responsibility range, interacts with the other team members, and have some sort of autonomy. And if I check the 4 boxes, then of course we are in AI agent mode. So then, of course, an AI agent, of course, the good ones only, they are very nice team members. So, of course, jokes, empathy, and all that maybe missing, and a beer after the work or during the work is sometimes difficult to have with an AI agent with. But of course, it's a proper teammate, and actually a good one, because the rest of the teammate, the human ones, I would say, not the rest. Sorry, I need to. The human ones have enough time to do the tricky, the human, the UX, the responsibility task.
The beer is maybe a very important point here. It does not have to be beer, right? Every liquid or every time you spend together, because what is happening is actually you build trust, right? And a statement would be trust is only built between humans.
That's, of course, absolutely not true. Yeah, because trust is basically, you have to gain trust. Okay, there are 2 kinds of people. So one, you would say, all right, I trust you from the beginning, and the only thing you can sort of gain from me is that the trust level doesn't go down so quickly, but rather slowly. The other one, I prefer, so you start with 0 and then you build trust over the time. So, and that can sort of, AI agents can do that, because trust is earned when the work is done, when the responsibility is taken, when the deadlines are met, and the interaction is right, and the feeling is good to work with. So then you build trust, and of course, I feel it every day that my agent is becoming my mate.
For me, there's no trust without accountability, and agents cannot be held accountable. They will do whatever, and they will. You cannot trust them to get to the right outcome in all times. Even if there are difficulties they have to work around, they will do what you ask of them, not do what's right to get to the outcome. So that's why I think you should never trust agents.
I would actually say I would trust him for the things that I don't really feel like doing. So in engineering, you hear these two things, that we actually invented AI and LLMs so that we don't write unit tests, and I would even say that we don't write front-end code. So that's basically, for that I would trust it. So please put this idea of mine into some sort of a UI, because I don't really want to do it. But I would actually not trust it with anything. So this is more, prototyping thing, and unit test to have something to for yourself to feel accountable for, that nobody checks, just like before.
Can they center a div? Can they center a div?
Who can? Yeah.
That's why they are there to keep trying.
They can try, exactly. From it to you trust.
I'm trying to remember which author said that the more I see humans, the more I like my dog. Someday people will say that about AI as well. So trusting humans is very tricky, but I agree with what was said. I think it depends on the task, and for some tasks, AI can be very trustworthy, very reliable, very predictable, and very, very scalable. For other tasks, not so much, but we'll get better.
So the trust needs to come over time, you are saying?
Yeah, and over expertise as well.
And imagine today, or even 10 years ago, so you go into the car, start the engine or the electrical motor, whatever, and then you drive. And there's a lot of, not agents, but basically machine internet, algorithm, software stuff. And you don't care about are the brakes are working, and as an anti-blockade system, I don't know what that is in English, but so you trust it, or you go into the plane and the autopilot runs that train for 80% during the time. So I trust that somehow.
Yeah.
And I trust them a little bit more than maybe humans who sleep during that.
True.
Maybe because that's a deterministic machine. Mm-hmm. But with AI, I would not trust AI to program the car. And if you think of like the biggest, or there's many cases where companies went all in with AI, and those are like the biggest failures that we've seen. We've seen Air Canada get sued over their chatbot. We've seen Deloitte send a 300K report that actually had wrong citations in it. We see Klarna losing all this money because they actually trusted too much.
What's interesting as a remark, though, is that AI is almost being used synonymously now with generative AI. Doesn't have to be. There is deterministic AI as well, machine learning back in the days. Now AI has become generative AI, and that's very interesting to see.
I built a timer with Claude Code, and now it's crashed. Look at that.
See? We were right all along.
So my trust is done. Okay.
Did you write unit tests for that?
No, I didn't.
Have it write unit tests for that?
I did also not ask him to do so. So then you need to continue with the question, because maybe Claude Code wanted to say no to don't build actually the timer for me, and now he did this one. Does a good teammate should be able to say no to their teammate manager? So do you need to is a good teammate actually someone who can say no, right? And then we all know an AI is barely doing that.
I'm pro or against? I'm not so sure. So I was with McKinsey one day or another, so decades ago, and then one of the biggest rules we had was the obligation to dissent. So even if you are the youngest consultant ever and talking to the biggest director ever, and say, I don't think, because that is right or wrong what you say, it was the obligation and was one of the 4 rules. And it is a very interesting point you say. So AI agent, as far as I understand, so they have not the capability yet to say no exactly and with the strongest emphasis. You can always say, do it, and then it's always like a little slave or something. But if we add that little recipient on that, so I think that's a big difference, though. Yeah.
We're reaching now the 10-minute mark of this discussion, so I would like to ask you to switch the microphones, and we will try to make it more obvious. Green is pro and red is contra, and we're still thinking about a good teammate should be able to say no to their manager.
Of course, it should, and agents are there. So we just had in our in-company framework, we discovered that with Claude agents and hooks in them, it's pretty good to and pretty easy to build reliable boundaries that are much more powerful than sandboxes that we had in the past, and it actually prevents you from doing certain things that are against the basic rules. So it will say no to the manager and everyone.
Yeah, I agree. I think you just need to put the right system in place and give it the instructions that it needs. And this is very difficult. And of course, as a junior, treat it still as a junior teammate and make sure that things check in line. So gradually increase the complexity of your tasks and while you test your restrictions.
No, there's no doubt here. It's been proven that psychophantic AI has greatly reduced accountability that humans are willing to take now because they always tell you what you want to hear. Some people have experimented with different system prompts, different design to see if they can push back. There's been some small glimpses of success, but nothing reproducible. More or less, they tell you what you want to hear.
And that is a good thing because so I'm surrounded as a manager. I'm surrounded by people who always say no, it's not possible. Here, the problems here and there. So I built up my own sort of agent. Then they say yes, yes, yes. What a great idea! What a great hero! Greatest manager I've ever seen. Thank you, Dirk, that you are there. That's what we want to hear. Then I can take all the accountability and responsibility and all that stuff.
Do you have the right microphone, though?
Yeah, it is not easy. We need to get used to it, as the same thing as with our AI teammates. And what we have as humans is a strong gut feeling. And to be a good teammate, you need to have a gut feeling, right? You need to read the room a little bit. You need to understand your manager. You need to act as a human to sort out certain situations. For an AI teammate, it is enough to depend on logic. So with green, you need to say yes. With red, you need to say no. That's the logic. It is enough to depend on logic.
I even have to speak as a woman. I think we actually need, less emotions in our daily work. And that's actually something that AI can really bring into a team. And we tend to interpret the answers the machine gives us as more or like less emotional than if someone else would tell us. So I think it makes us more open to seeing maybe gaps in our logic or things that we could actually improve and not really take it personally. So it's a very good feedback mechanism that because it comes from a machine, it doesn't trigger our ego.
Mm-hmm. So you are saying, yes, it is enough to depend on logic. Promit, you are not agreeing with that.
No. Who is the stakeholder? If the stakeholder is a human with ego, then you have to serve the stakeholder. And therefore, you have to read the room. You have to have the gut feeling. And you have to be able to tell people what they want to hear. And in this case, this is no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. Florian, you work in a very highly regulated industry. So you are saying, yes, it is enough to depend on logic.
Of course, if you just depend on logic, like rules are rules, and I've seen too many teams create unnecessary drama around discussions that could easily be had on a logical, neutral basis. So AI helps us move faster by by reducing the drama in the team, especially the unnecessary drama.
Yeah, it's a nice try, but so I tell you my experiences. So I'm as a physicist, I spent for 30 years sort of trying to become a professor and scientist in physics, did all this stuff, and then I entered the real world. So and in physics, it's basically deterministic. It's bottom up. You have to analyze everything, you have to calculate everything, and then you come up with a deterministic clear answer. And then I entered the world, the room. I was 30, and I woke up and said, "Hey, listen, the world is totally different. So there are girls and other people around haven't seen for ages." And then become a manager. I really understood that I have different team sort of qualities, and the difference was just there was a diverse team and there was basically a male team. And the diverse team was always better. And I really measured it. And I don't know why, and I don't have to explain you why, and there are so many reasons, but it is very clear that diversity is better than the male ones. And so I really feel that it is far more than fact-based, or algorithm-based decision-making. There's far more, and the teams are better if you not react fact-based and rule-based.
Actually, for more diversity and also more equality, we could use more logic-based decisions in teams, so that every time you make a decision, regardless if it's where to whom it is addressed to, that you actually make the same decision over and over again, and you don't get biased by the size of the company, the gender, the skin color, where they're coming from, and so on. So I actually think more diversity is being supported by more rational decision making.
You can also easily have multiple perspectives on every decision by having the AI take different roles, different contexts, so that actually supports diversity more.
So I have a diverse AI agent team?
Yeah.
There's still challenges around training, of course.
Very
Emotionally aware AI agent as well.
Let us take a look into the future. And the statement I would like to hear your opinion about is, in 5 years, an AI will hold a senior job title in most tech companies. So let's say we solved this diversity aspect and we have very diverse AIs that are coming maybe with emotions and support a good, healthy team feeling. We will have AIs that hold a senior title within our human team.
We still do the colors?
Sorry?
We still do the colors?
Yeah. But to make it a little bit more complicated, we passed the second mark, and you can switch the microphones again. Yoo-hoo! So in 5 years, an AI will hold a senior job title in most tech companies. Florian, you say no. It's
of course not. The companies, especially tech companies, as we know them today, will not exist in 5 years. Because AI will have made most of the structures obsolete that we now have. So there will not be senior engineers. There will be one-person founders running fleets of AI and build stuff. So no senior engineers.
So that is an AI, that is a human that is orchestrating a fleet of AI agents, and they don't need to have titles because they are just working and never say no.
It's debatable whether you need the humans.
True, it is. Luckily, that Dirk is definitely on the human side.
Yes, I think so. The interaction with the surroundings and the decision making is really hard for AI agents, so they cannot sort of, I think, fill that role yet, and that's why. So without humans controlling, interacting, be accountable, and also making the big decisions, without those humans in their role, in their senior executive roles, we cannot run it. I don't believe that, but
Yeah, sorry for forcing you here. Kata, what is your opinion on that one?
For me, what comes from a senior engineer right now, it's also creativity and bringing up new approaches and coming up with new ways to solve the same problems, getting inspired from other domains, finding out, just new paths of resolving things. And as I said before, I think the AI will just keep doing front-end code and write unit tests, so we can actually solve the bigger problems that we've been trying to solve in new approaches and not just go regurgitate the same. It cannot be that we get stuck at the level that we are right now. I am 100% sure we'll keep progressing and reinventing ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And Promit, you're saying yes, in 5 years there's an AI holding a senior title?
Absolutely. The present is the best indicator of the future, and AI can already do the work of a junior engineer, a mid-level engineer. I think it'll get better, and humans will have to evolve, keep the society going, so they will evolve too, and AI will be a senior engineer.
Mm-hmm. From a senior engineer, we are not only expecting code, right? We are also expecting interacting with the team, actually. So the AI teammates of the future will contribute to our company culture. Kata, you are saying no, that's not possible?
Yeah, that's definitely no way that works. They will just be there so we can hand over stuff that are too repetitive for us and that they can handle on their own, so with a certain complexity. And maybe then we have more time for beer or other stuff to actually, maybe in this way they actually contribute to company culture.
With ordering beer for us.
Actually making more space for us to, while they work, for us to socialize.
I think they will have a big impact on the culture.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the right color?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but I really believe that. So that there's one thing, so that sort of the shitty stuff, the shitty work, no one wants to do it, and also sort of the nasty stuff is done by those. So the culture will be better somehow because the people are investing their time and have the time to do the real stuff. We call it deep stuff. Yeah, the deep stuff. AI is not cannot do. And also maybe more time to interact and to solve the real problems. And so that's one thing. The other thing is, I see that already in today's life. So it's a discipline. So if an AI agent is listening to our salespeople, for instance, and we use that for coaching new sales members, if they do a good presentation, a good pitch, sort of helping to understand are the keywords are made on the right points, are there too many? So I see that already, that the culture is sort of the people are supported to become better and also better people. And that is also part of the culture, to encourage people to do their best and to become better. So there's, I think, no discussion that they are part of the company, and of course they have a big impact on that culture.
Bold statement. Florian?
Following up to what is said earlier, when you don't have the senior engineers around in large numbers, what is the company culture to influence? So when you have most of the agents making up the company, what culture are you caring for even? So why is that even a discussion that we want the agents to improve culture, because culture is a human concept and the agents don't need that?
Culture is a human concept, and therefore human in the loop and AI training have a symbiotic relationship, and therefore AI becomes culturally aware just as humans also change because of AI. It's been proven that humans who use AI a lot think differently from those who don't. This is already established. There are studies, and I'm sure it'll get stronger and stronger over time. And AI will then be culturally aware, or at least how we define culturally aware.
The tools we are using definitely have an influence on our culture. I mean, we see that with companies using Slack and using Teams. And then in the future, we may see different engineering or, let's say, orchestrating culture based on if they use Microsoft or Google or any European LLM provider. That will happen very, very soon.
In 5 years.
In 5 years, exactly. The issue is an AI teammate will never understand the why, only the how. So the why is never understood by a teammate, by an AI teammate. But from your teammate, you are expecting that they understand the why, right? You want actually that they know why they are doing it, ideally. And we see this and that, colleagues here and there. Promit, so you say, yes, an AI teammate will never understand the why, only the how.
This is absolutely true, because only the person asking for a task knows exactly what they want. Another human cannot guess your true intentions. So how can AI do it?
Of course, also the agents will be able to figure out the why. Training them in that way makes them even better and more insistent on getting a good answer for the why than us humans are, because we might be content at some point when we get so hand wavy reasons for doing something. I think we can easily make our agent friends insist on a watertight why and then get to that.
Yeah, when you actually give them context and they know the bigger picture, they can relate that and put it together and even hold you accountable for maybe deviating from the plan. You know how sometimes maybe as a CTO you would try to put in a feature that you think is like something really cool, but you have no data for it. Then the agent could actually be there and tell you, hey, what is the why? How does this relate to your KPIs? You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree that sort of the agent will maybe ask you stupid questions about the why, but and train them to ask those questions that you think that guy or that agent or that team member knows the why, but that is intrinsically impossible. So it's a statistical model, so it calculates probabilities, mix them up, quite often, so that comes up at that bullshit, of course, and so it has no intrinsic model inside to ask the why or to define the why. There's no heart for why in that body. So that's why the question is answered. It's no why in a model. That's why you cannot expect the why in that model. Too strong?
No, very well articulated. Thank you so much. Before I let you switch the mics over and over again and confuse everybody even more, let's check out this discussion with one last question, and you are now allowed to ignore your microphone color. My question would be, to close this up, what's one thing humans will always do better than AI? What's the one thing?
Love.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I said it before, I think it's creativity. So coming up with new ways to solve the same problems or new problems and new ideas, you cannot get that just by repurposing the same things that you've learned.
Complain. I think humans can complain better than AI any day.
I feel all the good reasons have been taken, so I'll be a copycat and say empathy, which is close to love, I guess.
That is a very nice end note, I would say. So please give a huge applause to the panel. Thank you so much. If you want to dive deeper into the AI rabbit hole, I highly recommend checking out our episode with Catalina Turlea. She brings a fantastic perspective on AI experimentation and the actual ethics behind the engineering. We've also got some massive episodes dropping soon, including a recording from our New York Unplugged event and a lineup of guests that are going to get very honest about their messier parts of building tech. Make sure you're following Product and Cake on LinkedIn and hit subscribe so you don't miss those. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you at the next one. Bye.
AI promises speed, but for many teams it means more meetings, more tools, more confusion, and still not much to show at launch. Vention works differently. AI is embedded in our process from the first architecture decision through deployment. Our engineers use AI to cut repetitive work and focus on what matters most, building the right product faster. That is our peace of mind promise. You get clear ownership, full visibility into progress, and delivery you can rely on. Ready for expert developers who actually deliver? Visit ventionteams.com.